Do you need me to turn my phone horizontal?
Hello and welcome, guys. Thank you for joining me again for another Facebook Live. Also, I want to give thanks for those that join me on the replay from YouTube and or SoundCloud. We are continuing our series on suffering in silence for those women who work so hard and yet we suffer the things that we just seem like we cannot talk about. Tonight, we're talking about parenting with our special guest host, Miss Wyanna Montgomery.
Hello, good evening, everyone. So good to join you.
All right, guys. So as you're logging on with us tonight, please go ahead and like and share this video so that others on your timeline can join in the discussion with us. And some of the information that we share here tonight may be beneficial for them as well. So we're continuing on tonight. Suffering in silence is just the issues that we deal with in parenting that we feel like as parents, there is no one we can talk to about the situations that goes on within our home, our relationships with our kids. And sometimes we find ourselves not having a voice to speak up and gain insight from other women when it comes to parenting. Now, with this pandemic that we have going on, we know that if we already had a strained relationship with parent and child, that a lot of these relationships are probably hanging even more by a string. And so that's why I wanted to bring the expert in, Miss Wyanna Montgomery, so that she can share with you her platform, what she is doing to help build that bond between the parent and the child, and just also just help give you a voice when it comes to parenting, so that we do not suffer the things that we deal with in silence, believing that we're the only ones dealing with the situation. Anything you'd like to share before we get started tonight, Ms. Montgomery?
I just wanted to say that I am so glad that you are bringing this topic, because absolutely, as parents, we are finding ourselves spending way more time with our kids than normal. And you know, it should be a good thing, but like you said, if you've had a strained relationship, then it makes it difficult, you know. So now you need to reach into your tool belt and pull out those tools and use them, sharpen your sword, everything else like never before, because it's challenging. And babies don't come with a handbook. You know, there's not a user manual. There's not a turn this on and turn this off. You wish you could turn some things off sometimes, but we don't get that. So this is just a very timely subject. So I'm just excited to share this evening. I've been a parent from multiple angles. I was a step parent for years before I had children of my own. And so that made me part of a blended family. And now my stepdaughter is an adult with her own husband and children, but we are still a blended family, as we have a teen niece who came to live with us about a year and a half ago. So just, you know, another transition there as well. So a lot of different angles that I can hit here.
Definitely, and we definitely know that there are no one size fit all family situations that we encounter, as we know that parenting doesn't stop when our babies turn 18, as we would like to think. And we want to address some of that too, guys, because we can cover all angles of the spectrum between Ms. Montgomery and I. So we hope that you feel encouraged tonight to just sit and share with us and just help stand with us, so that you now know that you have a voice and that you are not alone. So Ms. Montgomery, you have children at home, still at home age. What kind of insight or resource can you share with us to help those of us that have kids at home now as we move into these summer months? And then I'll come back in and share about parenting adult children after that.
Gotcha. So some of the, and I'll give the context by sharing the ages of the ones I have at home. We have a new young adult. Our son just turned 18 in March. So he's a part of the high school class of 2020. And we hope to be physically sending him off to college in the fall. You know, we don't know if they're going to start with distance learning or what, but we are praying and believing to be able to send him off. And then it's almost like we have twins with our niece and our daughter only being 4 months apart. Our niece just turned 14 in April, and my daughter will be 14 in August. And so they are both just wrapped up 8th grade and going into 9th grade. So some of the things that have been very beneficial, for example, before school let out, I work from home anyway. Like I still hold a 9-to-5 job in addition to my personal entrepreneurship, endeavors, but I work from home already. So when you have the entire family at home, my husband is now working from home as well because he works for a nonprofit that was in the school system. So of course, with school closing, that put him as home as well. So our dining room has become the hub of everything. So you definitely need to have a routine. Even before the school system figured out what they were doing, knowing that distance learning was getting ready to start, I had made up my own like 3 hours a day worth of work for the girls because I'm like, we can't have a 3 weeks of spring break and then expect their mind to automatically get back into gear. Even though they're teenagers, we had to start telling them, hey, you have to stop staying up all night. School is starting again, even though you're gonna be doing it at home. And so we need, hey, you have to go to bed on time so that you're refreshed and ready. And that routine really helps everyone, so you kind of know when the different parts are moving and how they're moving. That eases tension and frustration, and you've got to get your chores in and all of that. So routines are important. We also started stocking up on board games and card games and puzzles when we knew we were going to be closed in for a while. And parents, there's something here that I really want to pause and share. You'll be invited to a preteen or a teen's birthday, and you ask the parents what do they want or what do they like, and the parents will often say, well, the only thing they like is their phone. They're on that tablet all day. And the thing that I want to offer, that is actually not true. Our teens love good old-fashioned board games. They love them. So if you pull out those games and things that are fun to them, you can actually get them out of their rooms. I know it sounds revolutionary, but you can actually get them off their phone and out of their room if you do something that's engaging and fun as a family. They do appreciate those things. So I want to, encourage parents to have that time again. And then on the academic side, we found that, the whole thing about 30 minutes of reading, we're trying to get them ready for, high school level where you're no longer, you can no longer afford to be at a place where you're reading and just, trying to figure out the words and not able to read for context and for learning. You can't just tell them, hey, go make sure you do your 30 minutes, because that may never happen. We bring everybody to the table, and my husband and I will turn our devices off and the TV and read as well. They need to see you do it. We can either all read something different, or if you have ones that are kind of hesitant, or maybe they're not strong at reading so they don't feel as comfortable, why don't you read the same story and everybody just pass it around and read a paragraph or two? That helps them gain confidence. And it's kind of fun that you're all doing the same story together. And then you can stop and ask questions to make sure that they're actually understanding the content of the story and not just going, word for word, line by line. So, I could go on and on, but I'm gonna take a breath and let you jump in here.
Miss Montgomery, so would it add further strain if the relationship is already strained between the parent and the child by having them come together and spend that time together? Or would that indeed strengthen the relationship between the parent and the child when the child is reluctant to maybe sit and read or sit and do some of those less desirable things? Because some of them may be reluctant because they don't feel like they're good at it. So Would this
Right.
be a way of changing that behavior as it relates to reading or some of those other things that we want them to do and excel in?
I think it depends on how you approach it. You know, you have to meet them where they are. Like obviously in our family, you know, we're adults, but we have to be fair about the whole situation. The same way that we've had to adjust to our niece in the home, she's had to adjust to being in our home. So you have to be empathetic and understand their feelings as well. And you know, and a lot of adults have that really bad. And part of that was a generational thing. You know, a lot of adults my age, and especially like our parents, I'm 42, and they were raised where children are seen and not heard, and you never get to have an opinion about anything. And the reason why that's not quite fair is even from an educational perspective. I have teachers tell me, because I work for an educational technology company, I didn't mention that. I have teachers say that the children have never been allowed to voice any kind of opinion in the home, not contribute to family conversation of any kind. And because of that, they get in the classroom and they don't even know how to speak up when the teacher is asking them to contribute to an academic conversation. So I said all that to say that a strain, yes, it can, if you just say, well, you need to read. You know, I don't care if you want to read, we're going to read. Okay, instead, you need to have a conversation. Why is it that you don't want to read? Now, my son used to always say that he didn't like reading. Well, what he really meant was, I haven't found a book that interests me enough to want to read it if it's not homework. For years, he would say the only books I've ever enjoyed was Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I said, well, son, that series came out when you were 8 years old in third grade. You can't keep reading that. But we've discovered what he really enjoys reading. And so we take him to half price books, all the kids. Roam the store and pick something that interests you. So that child that doesn't like to read, don't just keep beating them over the head about reading. Get to the bottom of it. Or have they not found a genre that they enjoy? Are you trying to get them to read something that's too complicated for their reading level? You know, if you have someone who's in ninth grade, but their reading level is only sixth grade, don't beat them up because they can't read at ninth grade level. Go get a book that's at fifth or sixth grade level that they can comfortably read and build confidence, and then we work our way up. And I've also explained to our girls that it is important. The only way to sharpen your reading skills is to read. Because it's reading, there's nothing else you can do. And we want you to have as smooth a transition to high school as you can. In high school, there's more reading, it's more complex, there's more pages, and all of that. So if you do this now, it won't be such a shock when school is back in session and all of us, and it definitely doesn't get any better in college. I mean, I majored in African American studies. So anytime you major in something that's related to English or social studies or history, I'd have between all my classes, sometimes like 400 or 500 pages of reading a week. The professors don't care what the other person has assigned. So you better get to know it now. So to answer your question, you really need to not just put on your I'm the grown-up hat. Be the grown-up, but you still have to be reasonable. That teenager is a person with feelings. The child is a person with feelings. And you need to meet them where they are and try not to make it a combative thing.
I like the way you said that, how you remind us that they are human and it's all about the approach that we use.
Right.
And guys, that is just a perfect time to even chime in here when it comes to our adult children.
Right.
One thing that we have to realize as parents who have adult children that may be home from college or having to move back home because of the pandemic or the situations that we deal with is that they are human. Yes, they are our children. But guys, we have to realize that just as we made our mistakes and we experimented with this thing called life when we were 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 years old, so are our children that now. And so we can't discredit that yes, all of this is happening, but yes, there are situations that still continue to happen as a result of our adult children growing up before our eyes and experiencing life as they see it. So they're going to not sit at home like maybe we sit at home. And to be honest, some of us still aren't sitting at home. But if you're like me and you're sitting at home and your adult children are in and out or things like that, you have to allow them an opportunity to grow and develop at their own pace.
Absolutely.
We cannot sit here and be judgmental. We cannot sit here and criticize everything that they go out and do and experience and how they choose to live their life. They are not us. They are not. They are their own human. And I believe that that respect to them is more valuable than trying to live your life or your lack or what you want or desire them to do through them. You see what I'm saying? We can't live our lives through them because the way we desire to see them or the way we want them to do. We have to allow them the opportunity to make those mistakes. We have to allow them the opportunities to go through those sometimes, I hate to say it, but even traumatic experiences. We as the parent have to be careful on the flip side of that, what we are speaking even to our adult children.
Absolutely. I said that on my live last Monday night. You have to be careful the words that you are using when you're trying to support, because you can say something that is so wounding because of your tone and your word choice that they can't even get the lesson because it was hurtful. And now they're not open to anything else that you have to say. You know, and even with our son who's newly 18, we have to loosen the grip because he's going to college in Iowa. So we can't keep holding him like he's a newborn because he's going to be out of state. He's going to have to self-manage and do, balance his life between being a basketball player and an engineering student and the volunteering and the work study. So we have to give them room to breathe and grow, and definitely in my case, our adult child doesn't live here, but she's 28. She's married. She has, 2 kids. They both call us for advice because we've been married, over 20 years. But even then, even with her, we listen to what she's saying before you just go. Now, she asks you for your opinion or your advice. That's different. But we have our marriage and they have theirs. So if they ask us for advice, that's one thing. But we can't just come in from the outside trying to tell them, well, you should do this and that and this and that. Our marriage is not their marriage and their marriage is not ours. So, and everybody has their own path.
It's so wonderful you said that. And that's where a lot of us, I think, miss it, guys. And so I also want to address the situation to where you parents are sitting here and you're being silenced because maybe that adult child or even maybe a child in the house could be an aggressor. And that is also an issue that we must address on this platform for parents that are dealing or interacting with children that are aggressive, or maybe they have mental health issues, or maybe it's just a difficult child. They're going through something that some type of grief or trauma that maybe they haven't been able to verbally express to us. So we as parents have to really dig in and try to understand and try to put ourselves in their shoes, because we know, even thinking back in our own lives, there have been times that we have not always had a vocabulary for the issues and the things that we deal with. And maybe we didn't act out in aggression like maybe our children are, whether they're grown children or children in the home still, but we have to realize their environment, the things that they're exposed to now was different than the generation in which I lived in. So I see a lot of things on media, a lot of things generating through their phones, on television. It's all aggression. It's either mild or it's way out of control. And so our children, a lot of times, because the television takes up about 10 to 8 hours of the day, and the electronic device takes another 10 to 12 hours out of their day, and they're only getting 2 or 3 hours of sleep, guys.
Right.
Aggression is what they're putting in. So aggression is what you're seeing on the flip side coming out. And maybe it's targeted at you because you're the one that that's close to them, or the one that they love, or the one that they look to be their protector or their support. But we have to really think about it. Is it really us that they're frustrated with, or is there an underlying issue? So my suggestion is that instead of suffering in silence, guys, there are mental health agencies all over our communities. There are mental health agencies that are now offering services online, like you see us tonight sitting here. They'll be able to sit and talk with you and your family from the comforts of your home. But my advice is not to sit in silence, not to sit thinking that you're the only one that is going through a situation like this. Hey, I've gone through it. I've gone through verbal assault and a physical assault from children that I birthed, guys. So we don't talk about it. We think that it's some kind of shame or stigma attached to it, but it's not. We have to be prepared and respond in a way that we don't escalate a situation that has an underlying cause or root, and our babies are crying out for help. Our babies need help. We need help. And so to sit in silence and to think that you are the only one who has a problem child, or the only one who has a difficult child, or the only one that has strained relationships, whichever side it falls on, you're not alone. Because today I stand with you. Miss Montgomery is standing with you. Together we stand to say that you're not alone, and you do not have to suffer in silence with this. There's no parenting rule book that's going to fit necessarily for your family and for the things that you deal with. All we can do is come together and share. We can bring awareness to it. When I was going through with my children and seeing them suffer through, all I could do was reach out for help. All I could do was not react and escalate a situation. All I could do was to trust somebody to come in to help my child or my children in a situation to where I feel helpless. I don't know what to do, but I know that there's a problem there, and behaviors don't just happen. There's a root cause, guys. And so parents, we also have to look at ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we are the dysfunction that has created the dysfunction in our families, and we reaping the seeds that we've sown. You know, we're seeing the harvest of the things that we've sown. So just because you're a parent does not eliminate you from being a part of the issue or the problem. So I encourage you, instead of suffering in silence and in a situation to where you feel like you're the only one, you know right now that you are not the only one. We've just shared with you some of the most intimate details within our family that maybe we wouldn't have necessarily shared, but we've given it a voice today, and we stand with you today, and we are here for you. We're here as a support for you, not only for you, but for your children. So
right.
If you're one of those in a difficult situation right now, I encourage you to get help. Contact a mental health agency if you believe that it's more than just a phase or
right, or an attitude problem.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, it could be any number of things. But even if it's something that is new and it's just surfacing, we all at one time or another need an outlet so that we can talk and, you know, get to the cause of the issues that we're dealing with. Because on the flip side, if we allow it to stay silent, it's going to result in addiction. It's going to result in substance abuse. It's going to result in physical abuse. It's going to result in a continuous generational cycle that's going to affect your legacy for years to come. So the time is now to really look at the situation for what it is and come together. And instead of feeding the fuel of the issues and the anger and the bitterness that is surfacing, let's find solutions for the issues that our children are dealing with. Ms. Montgomery, you have a nonprofit that you work with teens, right? The Reach Forward Foundation. Go ahead and share with us tonight about Reach Forward Foundation and about what you do on Monday nights, so that those that are here can join you on Monday nights for what you're doing with the family.
Okay, so Reach Forward Foundation is a mentorship program for grades 6 through 12, boys and girls. And we have been in official existence as a nonprofit since January of 2018. But Miss Bray, we've actually been doing the work since 2014. We just finally formulated, and COVID-19 has made it a bit challenging because we're not able to meet physically, but typically we would meet on third Saturdays in Oklahoma City, noon to 2, unless there are other special events, but we make our regular meeting once a month just because when you get into this age group, they're very active. You know, we have musicians and athletes and kids with part-time jobs, and they're in band and choir and all sorts of things. And so we really just want to be part of that village. You know, the mission of Reach Forward is to prepare young people to be productive citizens by providing fun and engaging educational opportunities, helping them with life skills and goal setting and all of those things. So we do everything from volunteering at City Rescue Mission to doing various Black History events to just talking about how to communicate, how to push past fear. We do ACT prep, college tours, so all kinds of things to get them ready for the life they have, to help them with the life they're living right now, and to prepare them for the future. And there's no cost at all to be involved. And then we also are able to feed them lunch each time we get together. So if you are in the Oklahoma City metro area, we don't care where you live. I don't care if you live in Hugo. If you want to drive up when we start up again, because it's only a third Saturday, you can come and be a part of what we're doing. And we do have a website. It's a little bit long, so I think what we may do is post it afterwards, or I'll show you a short way to get to it. If you go to wywana.com, wyjuana.com, which is my website for my speaking platform, if you scroll to the bottom, there is a group photo of the young people. And when you click that photo, it goes to the Reach Forward Foundation website. So that's how you can see what we've been up to. And then the other thing that was just really placed on my heart about a month ago, I have started Monday night chats for moms and mentors of teen girls. And it is a Facebook Live every single Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I deal with various topics. And, you know, I know we're busy. You don't have to have a whole lot of time. I'm only on there about 30 minutes. I hit my 3 points, give you some statistics that go with it. You're welcome to answer questions. Because May is Mental Health Month, I've actually focused on topics to help moms and mentors of teen girls with mental well-being. So last Monday night, we talked about how to protect her mind and help her manage her emotions. And this Monday night, to close out May's mental health theme, will be protecting her heart. And then parents, you really need to tune in. Matter of fact, your daughter needs to sit by you on June, because June, I'm hitting summer safety. And I'm talking about those things that we don't like to talk about, but we know that happen. I'm starting strong, especially parents, because they're in the house. If you still have them social distancing, they're in the house, the phone and the device, there's all kind of trouble that can be found there. The first topic in June is just say no to sexting. And if you don't, and yes, I did say sexting and not texting. And if you don't know what that means, you definitely need to be tuned in, because I promise you that your child knows exactly what it means. This is something my daughter was talking about in her middle school when she was only in 6th grade. It's there. We're addressing cyberbullying. We're addressing driving safety issues one Monday night. And the last one in June, I'll say these 2 statements and you'll know what I'm talking about. The topic is, are her eyes red and does she have the munchies? And if you can't figure that out, I don't know what to tell you, because marijuana is widely available in the schools, in your neighborhood, places you wouldn't even think. Kids can find it online, all of those things. So I want you to have your eyes open and be prepared. And then a resource, do you want me to talk about my book and okay, so rolling right along, all of this is birthed out of, I'm also an author. And my book is called Bold, Brave, and Courageous, a No Fear Success Guide for Teen Girls. And the chapters are based on the No Fear acronym. It stands for never let anyone tell you what you cannot do. Open your mind to the possibility of your greatness. Fight for what you want. Expose yourself to new things. Act on opportunities to launch yourself and reach for it. So I call that like a mini life guide. And I open up each chapter with a personal story about myself from when I was a girl, a teen, in college, so they can really get a real life illustration. And I'm telling you, it's powerful for your daughter, but it has also been adopted by entire school districts, mentoring programs for teen girls, leadership programs in the US and abroad. And you want this because it's, it's a pretty quick read. It really engages them. It's available on Amazon.com and Wawana.com. And what I've created, I do a Bold, Brave, and Courageous workshop, but I can't always be there in person, even when it's not a pandemic. So an innovation that I've had to keep things going, I actually created a virtual book club or workshop kit. So essentially, you purchase however many books that you need for the amount of girls and facilitators that are in your group. And then I have provided video vignettes. So they actually get to hear from me speaking a little bit related to each chapter. Now, I'm not saying exactly what's in the book, otherwise there'd be no point in reading it, but I'm hitting on the concept. So it's got video vignettes, and I have the full implementation guide. So you know what to do, whether you're doing it book club style or if it's a workshop, and it works for the virtual setting. So I'm really excited to have that available now. And if you're interested in that, you can email me, wywanainfo@gmail.com, or just if you go to my website, there's a contact form. So I really want to be that village partner alongside you with parenting, with mentoring, whatever your grandchildren, whatever it is. If there is a 6th through 12th grade girl in your life, she needs this book. And if you lead a group of young ladies in that category, I think you need the workshop kit.
Awesome. I think this would also be good for those church groups. We women, we always get together for mission and women's group and things like that. But also that would be good just to start one of those with the young girls
Absolutely
together in meeting while the women are meeting. So we train them up not only by saying what to do, but also leading by example, the right modeling the example in front of them and giving them an opportunity to share with one another. Guys, Miss Montgomery, would you please in the comments leave the link to your platform so that it'll be easier for some of them that couldn't get the information just by listening, so that they could just have something to click on
Yes,
to.
ma'am.
There, I
I'm
appreciate
doing
that.
that right
But
now.
guys, I have enjoyed being here with you tonight and with Miss Montgomery and sharing our issues as it relates to parenting so that we no longer have the excuse to suffer in silence. We have a voice. And guys, if you're one of those parents that are struggling, just know that I'm telling you, and I'm only telling you because I've been there, done that, that it's okay to seek out help. Seek out help where it is needed so that our families are better, you know, and when our children are better and they're happy, so are we. And so we know that when we're dealing with frustration, it just puts a whole strain on the whole family dynamic, guys. So let's stand together. Let's be strong together. And also, ladies, when you know a parent is going through, let's not be so quick to judge. Let's not be so quick to
Absolutely.
judge. We do not know. All we can do is stand together, encourage one another, and help lend a hand where we can. And oftentimes that's just by having a mindset that I'm here for you, not against you. And together we're going to make this thing happen. And we give voice to the things that we deal with in silence. Guys, I appreciate you guys taking out the time and sacrifice and joining me tonight. Please join me again here again tomorrow night at 10 p.m. as we'll have another night of suffering in silence. Miss Montgomery, any last words you'd like to share with the audience tonight?
I just want to encourage every parent that if you have a strained relationship, number one, put it before God, because he can reach the recesses of their spirit, their mind and heart, things you don't even understand what they're going through. Put it before God, be patient. Please seek help. Some of us have it in our culture where the counselor is just listening to all your business. Well, guess what? You need the counselor to listen to all your business so you can get your house in order. And the more you suffer in silence, you have to remember, it's not just you suffering in silence. As you suffer in silence, your child is still not getting the help they need because you won't speak up. So I want to just reiterate that message again. It's not just about you. It's about them and healing the whole legacy of the family. This has been a wonderful time together.
Awesome. What a thought and a nugget to leave out on tonight, guys. You guys be blessed. I appreciate you joining me.
All right.
Good night.